All right. With this lesson, I want to talk about the hardware shading versus the diagnostic shading, how to assign materials, how to adjust some environment things as well. Just kind of a quick overview. We kind of did it a lot during the classes and stuff, but just want to make sure I cover a few of the finer points with it. Okay. So when you do the Shift and the Alt, and excuse me, Shift and Control, right mouse button, you got the shade aspect right there. You actually got shade fast and shade quality. Normally I'm just doing shade fast when I do this. What that does is it takes and does a hardware shade, and it will show the geometry based on the material that's assigned to it. So we'll go in and look at that in a second here with it. Okay. Now the other way of shading, so let me get to this one, is over here in diagnostic shading. That is more for looking at surfaces and how they relate to one another and so forth. Here's where we kind of turn it off on this first one. The second one is basically just, it's a default color that you get there. You can actually, I think, change it down there if you wanted to. It's mono color with it. Okay, so it's just a good way to see the form without any material applied to it. So now what's unique about this, if I turn it off and I grab a single surface, okay, and hit it, it will only shade that surface. So if you want to kind of see how, like a piece of geometry looks like, so let me grab this part here, turn it on, you can get a good visualization of just what the surface looks by itself, and any trimmed out areas and so forth. Okay, so it's a good way to see an individual piece of geometry. Or like I can pick this tire here and turn it on there as well, just that part as well with it. But once again, it's based on what's active. Third one, if you click on that, does all that multicolor one, so you can kind of see how things are made up by different surfaces. Like on this, if you want to check that trim divide, that's an easy way to do that. There's some other ones down here. Here's clay. So if you're doing a model, a clay model, you want to kind of represent that. This is zebra stripes, luminous, automotive companies use. Here's one. It's just different highlights, kind of skylights. This one, if you look underneath here, that's map type of showroom. You can do diffuse. You can do photo horizon. So several different types in this case with the that option right there. There's other ones that do curve evaluation, so you can look at how curve a particular surface is. It gives you the scale over here to do that with. I'm not sure what this one is. Draft angle. Oh, okay. There's one to show the different draft angles as well. Okay, but all shading. Okay, that you can do with this. Now let's go back and let me talk about the hardware shade. Okay, let me turn back on the basic again. Now that's just a quick way of turning it on. Quick visualizations. When you're finally getting ready to present, what you want to do is go to Window and go to Hardware Shade over here and open up the option box. Okay, and this will turn it on. What's set in here? So this basically does a more accurate, higher quality with it. You can toggle the environment off and on. Remember, for the environment, let me go bring it up real quick. So over here in the control panel, if you click where it says default, go down and choose visualize. You got the library at the top, okay, and down below is the resident shaders. Kind of once we loaded, we may or may not be using them, okay, but they're there. The first one is the environment. Now to change that one out, let me scroll all the way to the bottom. There's a separate environment tab there. If you click on that, that shows you all the different kinds of basic environments they have built into Alias. So if you want to quickly change one out, just double click on it, give a second to load up, and you can see it changes the lighting on it, and it may change some other things as well. Let me click on show background. Yeah, so on this one you can see the background. This is kind of one of my favorite. This is the dock, so you can kind of see it around the dock and all. But once again, you can see that there's our sunlight from over there, and it's providing lighting into our scene that way. Okay, here's another one, country road. I'm going to load up, and some of these scaling wise may be off. Yeah, this one's show that. Let me do this one. Oh, double click, bring it up. And there's another one there. Kind of a night scene with it, and the lighting that goes along with it. Okay, so that's how you change the main environment. That's how you can turn it off and on to show it, and this is to show the background. Okay, now you can also do, let me turn that off and just kind of move up, ground plane. Okay, I'll turn that on. Now, once you turn it on, depending on how you model your thing, it may be sitting in the middle of the model and stuff. So what you need to go to next is this edit environment. Turn that on, and you got the hardware tab here, where you look at changing things. Ground plane is kind of the big area you work with. So you got the height right there. That's where you can adjust this up and down. So if it's in the model, you can move it around. It's got some latency there. So let me put it back to 0. Looks like about right. Shadow blur. This way to soften up those edges so it doesn't look so harsh. Shadow transparency. Crank it up so it softens it up that way. And you basically have just 3 directions which way you can do the shadowing and all. And surprisingly, this covers a lot of them that you typically need. User define is actually based off of lighting in the environment. Okay, we hadn't had a chance to really talk about that, so just trust me, use one of these 3 right here to work on this. Okay, now background, you got 2 different ways to kind of deal with this. Currently this is map, that's with that little red indicator. If you click on it, that takes you out, that does that cylinder. Let me show that. So this cylinder right there is what's being mapped. If I click on it further, this is actually that night plaza PNG, so that's what it's showing there as far as that part. Okay, now I'll drill back through this way. What I actually want to do is go back one and turn this off. Okay, now you see it's totally black. Well, that's where the color is coming from. So if I click on this and just change that and give me a nice white background real quick, notice it still has the environment around it, because that's kind of the separate parameter up here, the reflection map that's worked with that. And you can also do things like this where you click on rotate and move it around. So if you need to kind of adjust the highlights and stuff, a great way to do it. Let me do this abstract one and see if we can play with that. So this one, let me go back. I want to see all that. Now this doesn't have a reflection map. It's all through this, and I think if we turn this off, yeah, it goes away on that aspect. So fortunately, you gotta kind of, for this one, live with this. But, and I don't think we can rotate this one. Oh, bummer. This one is a little different. Isn't based off of a high dynamic range image like the rest of them. So actually, let me try a different one real quick. There we go. Image based abstract. That's probably a better choice. That's default shader. Go to there. Environment. Okay. So and also when it says edit environment, it's the same as that. So if you just come over here and double click on that, you can bring that up as well. Okay, so once again, this does have the ability to rotate the reflection map, although it's not doing anything. That's a little surprising. So on that part, there's the background color. We can adjust that, change that aspect real quick. And you can do some other things. You gotta be real careful with these values. Subtle changes will really kind of make some big changes here. So just be aware of that. You can blow things out real quickly with some of these, and unfortunately, there's no real quick way to reset them unless you just reload it. Also, this one does have the reflection turned on. So you see that's pretty strong there. Let's see if we can cut it down. I always like to kind of blur this out. Getting closer. There we go. And you can do this reflection blur. To be quite honest, this is one of those things. It's so subtle, it's hard to even tell that it's active at any point. So just be aware of that on that part. Okay. All right. Now, quick thing about working with shaders up here. So let's go swap one out on this vehicle. So remember, you go in and you find the in the library which one you want to use. So let me try to scroll up here. Let's see if I got paint metallic. Okay, cool. Um, let's grab this metallic one right here. So to load it from the library into the resident shader, you double click on it. Okay, that loads it. When it's highlighted like that, it's active. Now I want to swap basically these two out, change from red to the purple to red. Here's a quick way to do it. Click on the one that you know is assigned, and then down right below here you hit pick objects. It selects everything this is assigned to. Then click on the new one and hit assign. And then you can say pick nothing, and that's a quick way to swap it out to try out something different there. Okay, so once again, you double click on it to load it. You come over here and pick on the one that's assigned. You hit pick objects, then you click on the new one and you hit assign, and then you swap it out that way. And you can easily go up and pick another one, hit assign, and just kind of go through and try that. One quick way, if you go up and turn off the model, even though it's not visible anymore, it's still selected. So you just select the new shader, hit assign, and it's swapping it out, and you can kind of see what it looks like real quickly like that. Okay, so that's the deal with that part of it. Alright, so that's kind of a good, just quick overview of applying shaders, setting up environments, and so forth with it. Alrighty, so we'll finish it there right now.